Okay, so what do you understand from the word attitude first? First, tell me that. What is attitude? Come on. Anybody? What is attitude? Yes, Sonu?
Behavior.
Behavior. Chaitanya?
The way we think.
The way we think
The way we think and the way we act.
and the way we act.
What we behave.
The way we behave.
Characteristics.
Characteristics.
Our thought process.
Thought process, yeah.
Personality.
Personality. Anything else?
And reaction to changes.
Reaction to changes, okay.
How we act for the situation.
How we
Act for the situation.
act in a situation, okay.
How we think.
How we think. Yes. So basically, attitude is, yes, your thought process. Attitude governs behavior. The way you have an attitude, that will decide how you behave. Right? But attitude basically is your thought process. Whatever you are thinking, whatever you are. And that thought process or your attitude comes from your background. So that will be your knowledge, your experience, where you come from, right? How you see things, your perception. So all that decides your attitude. Attitudes change over a period of time. It is not that the attitude will be the same. Over a period of time, they will change. Because when your knowledge increases, your experience increases, your approach to certain things changes. Right? So your attitude also changes. And attitude is towards anything and everything. For example, let's say a dog. You will find some people, they can hug the dog, kiss the dog, sleep with the dog, in the bed, sharing the same bed with the dog. They don't mind. It's okay for them. Right? And yet there are people who will see a dog means take a stone and throw at him. Isn't it? Shoo him away. Yes, they do that. So the first person thinks the dog is a nice animal. The second person thinks dog is not a nice animal. The attitude of both the people are different. Right? So the question is why? Now that is based on their knowledge and experience. Maybe the first guy, the dog did something good, some thieves came to his house to steal and he was barking or whatever. So he thinks, yeah, good animal. Saved my house from theft or whatever. Right? The second guy, you never know, he or his close family member or somebody has been bitten by the dog and he was subjected to harsh treatment, injection in the stomach or whatever. I don't know, now they may not be in the stomach, but earlier they were there. And the number of injections to be taken, 12, as somebody pointed, I'm not sure, but okay, 12. So that's obviously a painful affair, isn't it? So this guy is not going to have a liking to dogs, he's going to have hatred. Right? So what do you do? The behavior. Now you cannot see, by seeing somebody, you cannot know what he's thinking. So you cannot know his attitude. You will know it only by seeing the behavior. How a person behaves, on that basis you will know what his attitude is. If he is throwing stones to the dog, then obviously he is a dog hater. Right? And if he is even hugging the dog and giving him food or whatever, then he is a dog lover. Now this is used very, very widely. Right? In the sense, sometime back, of course, now there are no newspaper ads, but then I'm sure in WhatsApp and other places, wherever they do the ads. I remember olden days, they used to say a Parsi owned vehicle for sale or a Parsi owned bike for sale. Now what does that mean? Well maintained. Because Parsis are known to maintain their bikes and their cars and all very nicely. So Parsi owned means well maintained. So it is their attitude. They treat vehicles as an extension of themselves. A lot of people do it. Why do you have so much of road range? When you touch somebody's car or some whatever, minor accident, there may not be a scratch also, or just the number plate is broken off, or maybe a minor scratch here and there, which polishing off it will take care. But there are big ego clashes on the road. That's not even ego actually, that is stupidity according to me. But there's a big clash on the road, they're fighting away. You damaged my car and you did this and you did that, because that car is his extension. It's the extension of his own personality. He treats his car that way. That's his attitude. Right? So people get into fights also because of that, and some people say, okay, a car is meant as a utility. I mean, I need to drive from A to B and I can afford to have a car, so I've got a car, but it's not an extension of my personality. So if somebody damaged it, touched it or whatever, it's okay. I mean, I can spend some money and get it repaired, what the hell. I don't have to bother too much, I don't need to fight with this guy. So most of the things come in with the attitude, the ego issues, the so-called ego issues. Because according to me, ego is not that. Ego is not that I said and you didn't do. That's not ego. Or I told you to do and you're not listening to me. No, that's not ego. Ego is, I can sit here and take this session which none of you can sit and take. In my place, none of you can come and sit down. That's why you're on the other side. So that is my ego. Right? So my ego means I can do something which others cannot do. Or I can do it at a level which the others cannot do. So that is ego. So that is different. But ego is not you bang my car and then I'll fight with you. That's not ego. That according to me is stupidity. I mean, how do you relate that to your ego? Right? So, attitude, are you getting the idea now? What is attitude? You must have heard a lot of people, Zig Ziglar has said, it is not your attitude. It is not your what you do, but it is your attitude which will decide your altitude and not your aptitude and something such. Right? I think it's your attitude and not your aptitude that will decide your altitude. Yeah, that's the saying. But that's okay. I mean, the idea is that is fine in place. But what is attitude? That's what aptitude. Everybody knows what is aptitude. How well you do your exam or your IQ or whatever, that decides your aptitude. Altitude also people understand.
Gratitude should be your attitude.
Yeah, some people say gratitude should be your attitude. So that is basically saying, yeah, you are thankful for everything. Right? Now, normally even I say that when I get up in the morning, the first thing I say is, thank God, I am awake in the morning, one more day to live, one more day to do something. Right? So that itself is gratitude. In fact, some people have ego with God also. Yeah. I prayed for this and you didn't give me this. Everybody has a different way of looking at things. Now, what is prayer? According to me, prayer is to tell God to give you the strength to face whatever is coming your way. That is prayer. Prayer is not going and begging in front of God. Hey, give me this, give me that. It's not prayer. You will get whatever you deserve. You will get what you want. Right? In fact, I have seen some, I'm just going a little into the topic because some of you might have children, especially, 10th and 12th board exams coming in. A lot of parents I have seen, they pressurize their children. You must get 90%, you must get 95%. Why? Admission into engineering or medical or whatever they choose. Now, this is really not required. Whatever they can achieve with reasonable efforts, they should achieve that. Why do you want to pressurize and give stress to your children and take stress yourself? It doesn't make sense. Ultimately, let's be very clear, you look at any of the people, Sachin Tendulkar. I don't know whether he passed metric also or not, SSC also or not. Maybe he passed it, that's it. I don't think he went any higher in studies. But he did what was his passion. And that's why he is where he is today. Similarly, if you look at most of these guys, A.R. Rahman, yeah. He also did his passion was music, he followed that, see where he is today. People who follow their passion reach great heights. In fact, yesterday I was watching that Indian Idol on the TV. I don't know if any one of you watched that in the evening. and there's a finals round going on or something. So there was one guy there from Calcutta, I think, some Shubham Dev Chaudhary or some such name. Surname is Chaudhary, I remember that. And he left an engineering job. Mind you, engineering job, not just that engineering college, engineering job, to continue his passion for singing. And today he is in the top 6, in the finalists, final 6 of this round. Very good at singing. I mean, I liked it. Probably he may even win the trophy. I can't say because it's still to be decided next week. So people are giving up their jobs and other things for their passion. If you take up your passion, then you will always succeed, no matter what. Of course, you can say so many people will have singing as their passion, but they all don't reach those heights. That's because they don't make sufficient efforts. That's because of the attitude. I remember in one of the YouTube channel I had seen, I think Sachin Tendulkar was being interviewed by somebody or somebody else mentioned, I think Harsha Bhogle mentioned, I don't remember very clearly, but I saw it on the YouTube channel where it says very clearly that Sachin Tendulkar is having a problem facing Shane Warne, the leg spinner. So in a test match, mind you, a test match going on, and what does he do? He gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He wakes up Lakshman Shivaramakrishnan, who was also in that 15 team or 11, I don't remember, but he was part of the team. He wakes him up at 5 in the morning, he makes tea for him. He says, come on, I'll make a cup of tea for you. But 5:30 we go on the ground, you're going to bowl leg spin to me and I'm going to practice that. So he feels he is not going to be able to face Shane Warne very confidently, or maybe he's got out also earlier, cheaper or whatever. He wants to improvise. So that is attitude. Right? Why did Sachin Tendulkar get 100 centuries in first class cricket or whatever, total, whatever, 100 centuries? I'm sure the day Sachin was born, the nurse didn't carry him in his arm and go to his mother and say, okay, 100 centuries, here it is. I'm sure that's not done, isn't it? Right? So he learned it, and his attitude, attitude is to get better and better at what you do. So pick your passion, get better and better at what you do. That should be your attitude. If that's your attitude, then sky is the limit. Right? Always remember, there is nothing such as perfection. Perfection doesn't exist in the world. Right? Chief engineer. How many years have you been chief engineer, sir?
20 years.
20 years. Now, whatever you did as a chief engineer in the first and second year, if the same thing you are doing after 20 years, can you do it much, much better? Another 5 years down the line, you will do it still better. So that is what we call as continual improvement. That means, you see, whatever you are doing at your level today, you could say that's perfection, I don't want to improve. But if that's your attitude, then you will not grow. So to grow, you need that attitude to say, yes, I want to do better than what I did. So continued, if you believe in attitude of continued improvement, you will always improve. So that is where attitude takes you. That's what attitude is all about. Right? So in your children, whatever they have, just ensure that they have the right attitude to what they are doing. If they have the right attitude of, as I said, attitude of continual improvement, if you have that attitude, you will always improve. Right? It's not nothing, there's no rocket science in it. It's quite straightforward. That is why this word attitude is very, very important to understand what attitude is. Right? People use it in all senses. Positive attitude, negative attitude. That's okay, fine. There is, if your attitude in the positive direction, it's positive. If it's in negative direction, it's negative. I mean, you could compare Sachin Tendulkar to his classmate Vinod Kambli. Where did Vinod Kambli reach in cricket? Why? Because of his attitude. His attitude was not continued improvement. I mean,
able to handle the success.
he couldn't handle success. In fact, Vinod Kambli is one player. He could handle success. 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 He could hand
Better player than Tendulkar.
Yes, he was in his beginning day, he was better than Tendulkar. And he is one player who in Test cricket got 2 back-to-back double hundreds. That means 2 consecutive Test matches, of course, different series. The last match of one series and the first match of the next series. And he got, in both the matches, he got double hundreds. So 2 double hundreds back-to-back. Recently in this series, I think Yashasvi Jaiswal got those 2 double hundreds back-to-back. So how many people have really done it in the world? If you check, I'm sure not many. I'm sure they'll be in single digits. All over the world, I'm saying, not just in India. So these kind of records, definitely Vinod Kambli was not lacking in talent. What he was lacking in was attitude. Right? So that's what is important. That is why it's important to understand the word attitude. And if you have attitude of continued and never-ending improvement, you will always improve. You will always go to great heights. Right? So 90 marks, 95% marks for your children are not important. Even if he gets 75, 80%, that's fine, whatever he gets, but whatever profession he chooses or whatever is his passion and what is his attitude towards it, get that attitude right. If you get the attitude right, everything will be right. Okay? So that's about attitude.